Hi guys, this is Girlstreamers. It is a podcast bringing you girl streamers that you love. Girlstreamers is a community that supports and promotes girls that stream. We are a bi-weekly podcast and we'll be introducing you to some amazing girl gamers and allow you, the viewer, to get to know some of your favorite streamers. My name is Nymphadora and I will be your host during this interview. We will be interviewing MissDJM today, and if there is any time at the end, we will take questions from the audience in the Twitch channel live. This is a live podcast, but we will also be available for downloads on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. What's up, MissDJM?
Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a very relaxing Sunday.
Very nice.
Relaxing weekend overall.
Nice. So what have you done this week?
Oh, goodness. I played a lot of Gears this week.
Yeah?
A lot of work, yeah.
How is Gears of War 4?
Oh, I love it. I have to say that the story for this one, the campaign, is absolutely wonderful. It's like one of the best out of the entire series, to be honest.
Nice.
And of course, like all the previous multiplayer, just like it drives me insane, but I love the Horde in this one. Horde 3.0 in this one is a whole lot better than 2, but not nostalgic and as good as I remember 1 being.
Nice. That's cool. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I've actually never played any of the Gears games, so...
Oh, hun, you have to. You have to. You have to. Oh my goodness. I'm like trying to host and I turned on the Twitch thing on my app.
I'm like, what is that noise in the back?
That is me. I was like, oh, I forgot to host. And I'm like, oh crap, my audio is really loud on my phone. My bad. But yes, if you haven't, you really, really should.
Nice.
Like, it's one of my favorite series with a good, really good story. And they have comic books. They have actual books on it. So
wow.
I highly suggest it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's not as in-depth as maybe the Halo series and their books, but it's really good.
Nice. So, how did you actually come up with your screen name?
Oh, goodness. Because I'm boring? No. I kind of want to tell the story on this one. So I had a different screen name from this that I had a long time ago. It was Drift Junkie SX, and I ended up making MissDJM because I kind of felt weird about sharing, what if I don't want to play with this person that I met online before? I don't want them to have my personal, gamer tag. So I made this one, and I ended up sticking with this one because my offline friends stopped playing video games because they said they grew up. You guys suck.
Never grow up.
But I am personally amazed that anybody in the world will allow me to name anything at all because I'm terrible at coming up with names. I named my phone Pop-Tart.
That's so cute. I like it.
But it's all at the same time, I can't think of anything unique. So I'm like, all right, well, DJM is my initials. And I'm like, all right, MissDJM, it is. And the reason why I stick with Miss is that when I had Drift Junkie SX, when I used to play COD, I used to get harassed so stinking much because you can't really tell if it's a male or a female with a name like Drift Junkie. So everybody's like, what are you, a little 12-year-old boy? Which I don't know why it goes immediately to a 12-year-old boy, because I have a 12-year-old and I'm like, his voice is pretty deep. Is that a bad thing? But I got harassed a lot. So I'm like, okay, I'll stick with Miss. And now I don't get harassed as much. I just get a lot of friend requests and oh, you're a girl.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I see no girls here.
It's a different type of harassment now.
Yeah, it is, but it's not like it's too inappropriate. I kind of just roll with it. I'm like, all right, cool.
Nice.
But I definitely get less of you're just a 12-year-old boy with your mom's basement. I'm like,
so you have a 12?
My mom's basement.
You have a 12-year-old?
Yes, I do.
You do not look old enough to have a 12-year-old.
How old do you think I am?
Younger than me. And
I'm 32.
You're 32?
I'm 32.
Man, you don't look old enough to have a child.
Oh, I don't even know why somebody would let me have a child. I feel like my 12-year-old is a whole lot more mature than I am.
That's awesome.
It's really weird. Like sometimes we'll be out in public and I'm like, oh, toys. And he like stands there, he's like, you're a grown adult. You don't need toys.
Stop it,
But I
Mom.
need these Legos. Look at the Lego pieces. Look at them. He's like, you don't need Legos. You don't need that. You're such a potty pooper.
You have forced that boy into maturity, girl. You need to make him. No, I'm just kidding. You're gonna sit down and play video games with me, son.
Oh, he does.
That's
He's
awesome.
as big of a gamer as I am, but at the same time, he's pretty. I feel like for a 12-year-old, he's pretty responsible. He cooks, he cleans, he does his homework.
Dang, that's impressive for a 12-year-old. Especially a dude. Nice. That means you know how to raise your kid. You're raising your kid right. He's being good to his mommy. So, where are you from?
I'm from Hawaii on the island of Kawai.
So are you
No,
super
I'm not
Kawai?
Hawaiian. For anybody who wants to ask, I'm not Hawaiian.
Nice. Man, I want to go to Hawaii so bad. Is it as beautiful as they say it is?
Sure. Well, see, I feel like I am jaded by it because I live here and it's home to me. So everybody that like sees her is like, you're from paradise. And I look at it and I'm like, yeah. Like, I love California. I love San Diego. I would trade anybody in the world to like, okay, you live in Hawaii. I will take your place in California.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because the husband is from Southern California. So, we go back and forth to see family and friends. And I like visiting California, but I don't know that I would be able to live in California.
Oh, I could. I used to live in California. I was born here, but I lived in California. I lived in Southern California, and I loved it there. I did. And every time I go back, I'm like, this is where I want to be. This is where I need to be because I am the worst Hawaii residents. I hate the beach. I hate sand. I can barely swim. I don't surf. But I'm like, why am I here? I don't fit in.
What is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. That's awesome, though. Maybe someday you'll move back to California. California is actually cheaper than Hawaii. Because it's expensive to live over there.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is very expensive. I got friends working 2, 3, 4 jobs just so they can afford to stay and live here.
Jeez, man, that's crazy. Yeah, you need to get back to the mainland then. It's time to come back. So, let's get to gaming. What is the first game that you ever played that got you into the gaming world?
Okay, so this is a 2-part answer. The very first game that I ever played was this Cabbage Patch game that was on the Atari 2600. I hated that game. I remember hating it. But my dad had Pitfall, and I really liked Pitfall. And I remember
that game.
Yeah, I was really bad at it, but I really enjoyed it because they had these little ugly alligator-looking things. I was really bad at it, but it was really fun. But what really, really got me into gaming, I think, was the very cliche thing was just Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt, man.
But if I had to choose, because the cartridge had both games on it, if I had to choose, it would be Duck Hunt more than I enjoyed much. That was the only time No, that wasn't the only time. Duck Hunt is the reason why, this is going to sound so bad. I don't even know why I'm going to say this.
Say it!
Duck Hunt is the reason why I shoot dogs in games.
Oh, it totally makes sense, though. That damn dog was so mean. He was such a snarky little dog.
I hated that dog so much, but like the last game that I played in which I could shoot dogs was Division. So every single freaking dog I saw, I shot it and I killed it.
But it's a puppy. Oh.
They were everything, and I had somebody who donated to my channel and says, "Here, stop shooting the dogs."
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I do love Duck Hunt though, man. Duck Hunt was the bomb back in the day. It was one of my favorites. Um, so how long have you been streaming, and what got you into streaming? That's also a two-part question.
I have been streaming since June of 2011.
Dang, girl.
However, I've only been regularly streaming for like the last year and a half or 2 years or so, trying to stick to a schedule. The entire reason why I started it, I guess you could say I'm like a Justin TV Twitch OG in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Back then, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, if you remember the show Attack of the Show,
Yep. Oh God, I love that
on
show.
Network TV, I used to like center my days on watching it live and talking with other fans on Twitter about it. Like we were just like the serious fans, we were all about watching AOTS together
Mm-hmm.
and then getting on the Twitter wall. And then I don't know if anybody knows this, but AOTS used to have an after show that was on a website called Stickam.
Yep.
So you can go in there with, your webcam and you can chat with everybody afterwards. And they ended up contacting me and it's like, hey, we're doing Extra Life this year. Would you like to be on our team? And I didn't know what Extra
That's
Life.
cool.
And I'm like, sure. He's like, yeah, we'll give you tons of stuff so you can give giveaways and we'll promote your channel and do all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, what I have to do is like, sign up for Twitch. And I knew what Justin TV was. I just didn't really understand that they had a gaming portion to it. I knew that there were streams on Justin that had gaming, but I didn't know they made Twitch. And so I made a whole new account there because I had Drift Junkie SX on that one. So I'm like, all right, MissDJM on this one. And that was the entire reason I started streaming was I'm like, oh my God, my favorite TV show and producers and all that stuff asked me to be on their team to raise money for charity. I'm like, this is a win-win.
That's
And
cool.
it really was. And so a lot of my OG followers from the beginning were a lot of AOTS fans that I met through Twitter over the years. And I did it and it was a lot of fun. And some of them just like, hey, you should do this regularly. Except I was like, this is kind of weird for me. I mean, I don't mind gaming with you guys because I gamed with a lot of them, but the whole I don't know. I'm a really terrible gamer. I'm not like really good at a single game. I'm like pretty mediocre. Like
That's
even
me.
in my bio, it says like my A game is probably your B game. That's what it says in my bio because I'm like, I get through. I do the game. I'm not like professional. Why would anybody want to watch me?
It's because you have a great personality when you are streaming. That is what attracts people to it. Because you are fun to talk to and converse with. Because you do a great job at talking to your chat and stuff. I've been in there a few times.
I try really hard.
That is so cool. I remember that show. God, I remember that show. Love that show. Me and my brother used to watch it all the time. Yeah, that was when I was first starting to become a nerd. Or not become a nerd. I've always been a nerd, but accepting my nerddom.
Accepting your nerve. Oh man, I flew my nerve flag for so long. I'm one of those people that are just like, okay, so you're a nerd now. I was a nerd my whole life. Get out of here. Like,
oh, you're a nerd hipster is what you are.
Don't say that. That sounds so much worse.
Oh, that's awesome. So, what is the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you on stream?
Oh, goodness. There's a lot. Okay, well, the one that I was almost on a kind of semi-regular thing, I snort when I laugh.
Me too.
I snort really bad. And I have to mute myself because sometimes I can't stop. So I'm just like on this snorting train. But
that sounds like really bad out of context.
Please don't have anybody quote me on that.
That sounds so bad out of context.
The other thing, which is really, really bad. So when you're in your 20s, you make really terrible decisions. So yes, AOTS asked me to do Extra Life in 2011 and 2012. So I did that, right? I was working at a tattoo shop at that point, and they were super supportive of me doing this. But at the same time, they also had events to promote the tattoo shop, and they were putting on parties. And they always, for those 2 years, coincided those charity events that we did for the tattoo shop the day before Extra Life. And they did it on purpose to screw me over. Because they were like, you got to be there. You're part of the shop. And I'm like, I got this event to go to, the following morning. It's a 24-hour stream. It's like, oh, you'll be fine. Just stay for a little while. A little while turns into it starts at 6 p.m. and next thing I know, it is 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm drunk. And I'm like, oh no, I start this stream in 4 hours. Yeah, I can do this. I was 26 years old at the time. And I'm like, I got this. I woke up both of those times in both of those years. I woke up with the worst hangover ever because I had 2 hours of sleep. I'm still drunk. And there's a moment where I was struggling real bad. I don't remember what game I played. I don't remember what games I played during either of those other than Dance Central. But I had to puke. I'm sorry. I had to puke. And there's this one point, I'm like, oh my God. And I barely got off of the camera to just.
Oh.
I'm like, I did not mute it at all. I didn't mute it. I'm like, oh my God.
So they heard you vomiting on stream? That's so great!
No, it's not great.
I want to find this somewhere. This is so awesome. Oh my God.
I'm so happy that at that time, Twitch didn't have the whole, highlight things. You couldn't make highlights. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just remember just feeling so terrible. And I remember just sitting there and just like, what life decisions have brought me to this point? And I remember the first year, I'm like, this is never going to happen again. I promise. Oh, it happened the following year.
Oh my God.
That's so stupid. What am I going to learn? So in all the years, in all of those 5-6 years I've been doing this, that is the worst thing I've ever did, or the most embarrassing. I've done embarrassing things, but I can live up to it. I'm okay with it. It's just me. But,
that is so that's horrible and great at the same time. I'm sorry, but that is probably the best thing that is the best story I've ever heard. That is amazing. Oh God.
Oh God. It's so disgusting. I'm like, oh my God, the stupid things you do in your 20s. Yes. And I think during that time, I think there's only one of my mods that was there, maybe two that was there during this time, and I just hope okay, you'll never remember it. Although one of them probably archived it somewhere because one of my mods, he's super awesome. I really want to meet him one day, but he actually made a manga of my chronicles as a streamer that he's been writing and drawing, and I have a feeling that's in there.
Oh, nice. I have to find this person. I have to meet this person, and I have to do this. That's awesome. That's super cool. So what kind of games do you like to play and stream?
Oh, everything and anything, really. Well, except for first persons. I can't play a lot of first persons, which sucks.
No Overwatch for you?
No Overwatch for me. No games, a lot of first person games for me because I get migraines and it throws off my equilibrium and they go into so I get those, which really sucks. Although the two first persons I can play, one I don't like, which is Destiny, and the other one which I do like, which is Borderlands.
Oh, that's a great game.
It is. But other than that, I kind of play everything and I kind of stream everything. Right now, I think I'm bouncing in between Undertale, Gears of War 4, Akiba's Trip, which is a really good game that it's like a fighter, but you're stripping people.
Okay.
Somehow that's okay. That's on Twitch's okay list.
Okay.
It's really weird. But and I do visual novels. I like Danganronpa is one, and then I like Telltale series. I just like a plethora of a lot of games, so it's hard for me to stick with one, and I just bounce in between them. Today I feel like shooting people. Today I feel like reading.
So you would consider yourself then a variety gamer, I guess?
Yes, variety gamer, variety platforms.
Nice. I like Telltale games. I just started the Walking Dead series, which I stream on the Girlstreamer channel. That is a really good game.
I have to restart that one, actually. I started it on PS3 and I lost my saved files when my PS3 died. So I have to restart it.
Oh
I didn't save it to
no.
the cloud. So it's okay. I get to re-experience it all over again, so it's not bad.
There you go. So, I have two questions on your favorite game. One, what
Okay.
is your favorite game of all times ever? And then the next one is, what is your favorite game that you're playing right now? Because I think sometimes those can be different.
My favorite game of all time ever is a game I have a love and hate for because I have a lot of feelings towards. Um, it's actually on the Super Nintendo, and it's not the greatest game of all time, but it's called Super Bomberman. It was a four-player versus game in which you're a little Bomberman and you blow up each other. I used to play that with my two brothers and my sister, and I have personally really bad memories of us getting into fights about it. Like it was fun, but it would be really, really nasty. Like,
Gotta love those
but it was
bonding
like,
moments.
yeah, it is. It was a bonding thing, and I remember those because those are one of like the few times where even though we were fighting, we were getting along. It was something that we did together. It's not a great game, but I have personal attachments to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And let's see, like current. What was the other question? Current favorite
The
game?
favorite game that you're playing right now.
Oh, Gears of War 4.
I knew you would say that. For me, it's Overwatch. Because clearly, for the last 3 podcasts, I've talked about Overwatch at some point in some capacity. At least for right now.
I wish I could play it. Like I've been seeing people post, like especially for the Halloween event, and it looks like fun. I'm like,
dude, the Halloween
wish I
event
could
is really,
play
really
it.
cool. But we're not here to talk about Overwatch. So, would you say you have a main game at all? Or no, you don't really have a main
No,
game?
I wouldn't have like one main game. I wouldn't say. I'll have a game that like is currently my addiction for the moment, which currently is Gears, but I wouldn't say I kind of have like one main game that I stick to consistently. I mean, I guess before it was Final Fantasy 14, but I mean, I want to say it is. I'm just really terrible. I haven't played it in like 2.5 months. There's so much content, and I feel so overwhelmed on it. I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at in the world right now. I just want to fish, but that's not going to get me through the story. Like, can I just make stuff and fish and chop wood? Like, really fun.
I actually have a question for you because you've been streaming for a very long time.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say very long time, but you're one of our longer streamers in the Girlstreamer channel. Would you say it's better to kind of be a variety streamer or to focus on one game, or would you say it just depends on how you stream?
I think it depends on how you stream, but at the same time, I feel like you shouldn't stick with one certain game. I think being a variety streamer is most ideal because when you're sticking with one game, obviously you're going to pull in a lot of viewers that are attracted to that one game.
Right.
And it kind of sucks when you're playing that one game, you have these high numbers, but you're like, oh, today I want to play something different. And like your regulars don't come and check you out because that's not the reason why they followed you. And making that switch into a different genre and opening up your horizons can be really hard. And I don't care about numbers personally, but I know there's a lot of people who do, and they'll say like, oh my goodness, like my regulars and my viewers don't like seeing these games because they don't come. I have to go back to this. So you feel like you're stuck on just that one because that game gets you the numbers that you're used to seeing.
Yeah. I think I agree with you to an extent. I think you should have a couple of different games that you play, and like I have a main game which is Overwatch right now. But I play a lot of other games too. I don't make that my only game that I play. I actually stream that less than you would think I should, even though it's the main game I play. But I think each game that I play, the ones that I at least play regularly, like WoW, Overwatch, stuff like that, or Heroes of the Storm, those they have their own follower system, if that makes any sense. And then the other games, that's when I get into new people, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll come back and see these other games. So I'm with you on that, on the whole having different games, but I think that you can't go too far into the variety games, because then you'll get to the point where you're playing games you don't like just to get followers. I've seen girls do that before. Or not just girls, I've seen just streamers do that, and it's like, you're clearly not having fun. This is not entertaining. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you. I agree with you to a point on that. But I asked you because I wanted to know your opinion.
Well, I don't ever, like, I play a huge variety of games, but I play the games that I know I'm going to enjoy, because
right, exactly.
It's always obvious on my face if I don't enjoy something, and I'm like, yep, F this game, we're done. We are done. And I think right now, because I'm only doing this for my brother, even though everybody else enjoys it, right now the one game I'm not enjoying is Dark Souls. And I know everybody on my stream and everybody everywhere else loves that series so much. That game makes me want to just chop my head off. Like, all right, we're done. We are done. And the only reason why I'm playing it is because my brother bought it for me, and he loves the game. And I'm like, I play this game because I love you.
Yep.
That's it. Because I love you. And I said that to him, and he's like, I love you too. That's why I bought it, so that you'd be pissed. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, thanks.
My brother, I'm gonna upset a lot of people, but I'm with you on that, because I too have a brother who he likes to play with me, and he'll play Overwatch with me, but he has a game that he really, really likes, and I don't like it. And I'm gonna hurt a lot of feelings, but I don't like Rocket League. I don't like Rocket League. I enjoy watching it. It is fun to watch, and I will watch it all day long. It is really fun to watch. I hate playing Rocket League because I've done it on computer, and then I've done it with the controller, and I just can't. I don't like it. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So I'm with you on that. You got to do it because you love your siblings.
Yeah, that's kind of the only reason to do it. So a lot of people have been asking me, is like, when are you going to stream Dark Souls again? When are you going to stream Dark Souls again? And really, I just tell them, like, I don't like the game. But the full answer is, like, pretty much when my brother gets internet again, because he'd be the number one reason I'll be streaming it. So my brother told me, he's like, when you stream it, you let me know. And he's like currently moving and going into a new place, so he hasn't set up internet yet. So I'm like, all right.
Gotcha.
All right, I'll wait for you. When you have time, I will not go any further into the game than I need to.
It's a good reason not to play right now, then. You know, that way you don't have to play it. You're just waiting on the brother.
Yeah, so I can put all the blame on him. It's your fault. I'm waiting for you.
So, I love how we have so much in common with the sibling thing there. My brother and I used to play Mario Kart to, when he got too big for me to beat up and he started beating me back up, we realized, okay, we can't do this anymore. So we started going to video games to hash out arguments. So Mario Kart, there was a lot of mean things done in Mario Kart.
See, Gears was that for, I have 3 brothers, 3 youngers. I'm the oldest of 5. And so one of my brothers, my second youngest brother, yeah, I couldn't fight him if I wanted to. He's like 6'5".
Holy crap.
Mind you, he's like, I think the youngest one is a little bit taller than that.
Holy crap, you have tall brothers.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm only like 5'7". So I'm like, all right, so I can't, boss you around, but I'll 1v1 you right now.
Nice. So, what game character do you most closely identify with?
Oh, okay.
I think that's one of your questions too that you sent a few podcasts ago.
Yeah, I don't even have an answer for myself.
It's your own
I know. I want to say, okay, I think of two for two different reasons. So, Tiny Tina from Borderlands, who has an absolutely foul mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I like her bouncy personality, and she's just a dirty mouth little girl. So I like her because of that, because it is so hard for me to control my mouth and my language on Girlstreamers when I'm streaming here, because I don't realize I'm cussing. I really don't. I never ever do until somebody in the chat's like, "Hey, watch your mouth." I'm like, "Oh, when did I cuss?"
Because it's so natural. I definitely
is.
curse more when I'm gaming, and I have to watch myself.
Oh yeah. I just let my mouth go on my own channel, and I say things that surprise myself sometimes.
Yep. F-D, F.
Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes when I know it's gonna be really bad, I just like, okay, I'm gonna walk off over there, and I will scream my profanities over there because I don't want to offend anybody. But I think the other character that it's kind of weird, Harley Quinn. I think because she's a little bit, oh God, how do I say this without being so bad? Like, I think everything that I'm like saying in my head and the way I'm answering it, I think about it before I say it. I'm like, yeah, it sounds bad no matter what. I choose Harley Quinn because she's a little bit crazy, and I'm not saying I'm crazy, but some of the decisions that I bring into my life, I'm like, was I really thinking? Because I don't think I was. And I have this habit, and it makes a lot of people nervous, where I can be out somewhere that I've never been, and I will talk to complete strangers, no problem, and I will make them my new friend, my new best friend, if I can, and I'll just strike up a conversation like that. And knock on wood, that nothing bad has ever happened to me.
That's good.
Kind of. It really is. And some of them are very questionable moments, because like one of my longest friends that I have, I've known him for like 15, 16 years or something, like, no, maybe not that long, 12 years. I met him on my 21st birthday. I was naked.
Wow.
We were swimming.
Sounds like that was a great 21st birthday party there.
I was swimming, and somebody invited him to a party, and here I was sitting on the beach, just butt-ass naked. And I'm like, hey, you're new here, what are you doing? just like nonchalantly, like, so many terrible things could have gone bad with that. And he's like a really awesome friend. He's one of my best friends. He's basically family. But on top of being like, the little bit of a crazy side of Harley, I feel like when it comes to people in my life that mean a lot to me, I can love fiercely, that to the point, like, if anybody just like harms or does anything ill against any of those people within my circle, like, yeah, I will destroy you. Mm-hmm. Because that's how fiercely I can love the people in my life. So that's where I pull, like, okay.
Nope, yeah. I feel you on that one. I totally feel you on that one. I'm also extremely extroverted and can make a friend wherever I go. It's a nice trait to have, especially when it comes to business stuff. It's a really good trait to have. So that's good. That's awesome. So I know it's towards the end of the year. So are there any games or anything that you are in the gaming world that you're really, really excited about that's coming out soon?
Oh, or there's a lot.
Has all your stuff come out, or you actually?
No, it hasn't all come out. So I have a lot of games that are like kind of pre-ordered, or I'm just waiting. But I think like some of them are like 6 months out. So I know I'm getting Final Fantasy 15. Watch Dogs 2 is definitely on there. God, I think there's stuff that coming out like the big first quarter of next year. Horizon. What else is? Oh, South Park's The Fractured But Whole.
South Park? Like, what?
You never heard the title? Okay, I always have to I add a pause in between those two words, but it's called The Fractured But Whole. And I think it was supposed to come out this month, but it got delayed. But Friday the 13th is definitely on that list. I need something to replace Dead by Daylight because that game is frustrating me.
Yeah, where it's Jason Voorhees that's coming after you. Yeah. That game. Although I've been playing some Dead by Daylight lately with King's Nightmare, and yeah, I've survived I think 2 games.
I love that game, but my problem with it is it's so bugged out that it keeps like kicking me out of the games. Like for me to be able to finish a match is so incredibly rare and very, very hard.
Oh man. Okay,
So
yeah.
like that's just why it's so frustrating. I'm like, I don't even want to play you anymore. But it's a good game.
It is. It's a fun game. Dang, that's a lot of games. Did you see the Nintendo Switch video that came out a couple of days ago?
I think that looks stupid.
I'm
sorry, I'm just too blunt with it. I'm like,
I watched the video and I was like, I don't know what the concept is. Like, give me more information. This video gives me nothing on what this is supposed to do. Like, what is it like? Is it supposed to be combining their DS with the Wii U kind of deal? Like, is that what's happening here?
That's what I think. The Wii U was just a prototype. I'm like, let's see how these people like it if we did this.
I still want a Wii U too, so I don't know how I feel about the Nintendo Switch yet. I mean, I need more information before I can form an opinion, because there's nothing on it.
I feel like it's a little bit too gimmicky. And then I was like watching people people play it, or like watching the video of people playing it. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's cool if you're on the go, but like who the hell wants to play on such a tiny ass controller?
Nobody plays like that all the time though. Like,
it doesn't seem comfortable at all.
It's like they're, I don't know. I don't have a proper opinion on it yet. So I'm glad to know I'm not the only one who's not super hyped about it right now.
I'm not. I didn't even buy the Wii U. The last thing I bought was a Wii, and I'm like, and I enjoyed the Wii for the time being, but it's not anything that I'm like, ooh, I want the Wii U. Ooh, I want this Nintendo Switch. Like, I see so many people hyped about it. I'm like, I don't get it. What do you want?
Yeah. I am also one of those people. I still have a PS3. Like, I don't go get a new console until I absolutely have to get a new console. So, because I can't afford to buy a new console every 2 freaking years. It's stupid. I'm sorry. I am a gamer, but I also have a life and have other things I have to pay for. So, although it's been a while since Wii has come out with a new console, the Wii U, it's been, 4 years, I think, since they did the Wii U 2. Yeah, so I'm just like, okay. I have a Wii, and we don't even have it. It's in the box because we don't have any space for it in our house right now.
I don't even know where all the cables are for my Wii. Like, you're a glorified paperweight right now. It sits on my shelf, which is funny because I collect a lot of consoles. Like, I have been building up my library because I have like a Super Famicom, Super Nintendo. I have a Nintendo, a Sega Genesis. I'm just an avid collector. Yeah. So I feel like, okay, well, I have to have the Wii U at some point just to collect, finish my Nintendo collection.
I have a Super Nintendo that I really want to get out to play because I love Nintendo. I love their products and stuff, but I'm just like, my brother has a Wii U too, or the Wii U, and it's fun. I really enjoy it. It's much better than the Wii. It really is. It's much better than the Wii. But yeah. Oh, Nintendo. But our grandmother died a few months ago, and she had an Atari 2600, and he said that is I was like, well, I have a collection, and he's like, I have a collection, and so we're like, who's gonna get the Atari when she dies? And we were arguing this years ago. So he's gonna get it because he actually has a bigger place, and it will be in the box, and that's literally the only thing he wants. So I was like, fine, you can have it. She's got
my 2600. My grandmother actually has, and she plays it. She will not give it up.
Nice. Nice.
So she uses it.
I love that it still works. I say ours because it's totally the family, Atari. It still works too.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Do you know how many 360s I went through? I went through 5 360s because it couldn't last a goddamn year. And here it is, 2600. That's older than I am, and I'm like, look, you're still going strong.
Nice. And it's still and it's the cartridge one. You just blow in it and stick it in, and it's good to go.
You can totally take that out of context too.
I'm
sorry.
Phrasing. So, all right. We will move on to the next question.
Yeah, we'll transition out of that here. But...
Segue. So what is one game that you would like to see rebooted or remastered?
Oh, Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame is one of my favorite horror series. I had it on Xbox and on PS2, and it did not get nearly enough love as it should have. I liked it more than Silent Hill.
Oh, okay.
So if they reboot it or remaster it, oh my goodness, like one of my favorite streamers says, I am in there like swimwear.
Nice. I like that.
The only Fatal Frame I did play was actually on the Wii U, and because of that, that's the only reason why I would probably get a Wii U, and I just keep holding out, maybe you come back to PlayStation? Maybe?
Yeah, do you play a lot of horror games, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Oh man, I've been working through Layers of Fear, which I guess I should do it this week. I might make that my Halloween stream, and that'll be my last stream.
I actually haven't played any. I haven't played any horror games this month. I've been really bad. And Halloween's usually my favorite holiday.
It's October.
I know. I've just been terrible. I've been really, really terrible. But when it comes to horror games, it doesn't necessarily scare me. I have this nervous laugh. And I don't know if you ever watched me play Dead by Daylight, but when I'm being chased, I start laughing uncontrollably. And just saying I'm sorry, and I don't know where it comes from or why, but I just start laughing so bad that I can't run anymore because I'm tearing up from laughing so hard that I'm going to die. I'm just I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. I just start laughing.
I scream like a little baby, and it's like that, great horror scream, which I cannot repeat that scream. It's only when I'm truly scared. And seriously, I have tried to create that scream for sound purposes. I can't. Somebody has to scare me in order for me to do that scream. It is the really good horror scream. So the last time I played Layers of Fear, I noped the F out. Actually both times I did, but I got scared so bad I jumped up out of my chair and left the room.
Oh my God.
And I knew it was coming. I was like, she's gonna scare me. I see her at the end of the hallway.
There's when I was in San Diego Comic-Con, they had this booth to try Paranormal Activity with the Oculus.
Oh God.
So for so I was all about it. And it's funny, my son clipped a video of me trying this game out, and it was actually really good. It really was. It kind of freaked me out. But the only thing that happened was me laughing and cussing and calling the damn thing a goddamn bit, which... Sorry, I tried not to cuss.
That's the one word you did not, you the one word you actually censored in a string of curse words.
Really broke down.
It's okay.
Sorry. But yeah, it was really bad, and I remember taking it off, and the people in line were just like, "So was it funny or was it scary?" Oh, it was scary. They had this like really bizarre look. They're like, "But you were laughing." Oh, but it was scary. It was.
My husband does the same thing. He laughs when he gets scared. He does the exact same thing. And it's one of those where, like, we went to see The Conjuring 2, and I seriously, like, I got up and left. The Conjuring 2, they did a really, really good job on that movie. Like, it is really, really well done movie.
Okay, I guess I have to watch it.
You totally should. It's really well done. And he's over here like, and I'm like, no! Hiding my face.
I feel like I would get along with your husband because we were watching, my son watched, I don't know if this is really bad, but the Rob Zombie's Halloween. My son
that was
watched
filmed
it.
in my mom's office.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool.
I met Rob Zombie.
Now I'm just jealous.
Sorry.
But it's R-rated. I don't know. This is where I question my parenting thing because I let my son watch it, and my son gets really squeamish. My boyfriend gets really squeamish. But here I am at these death scenes, and I start laughing. Like I don't know what it is. Like I see like gore and blood and murder, and I just laugh, and I'm like, that's really funny, guys. And like everybody just looks at me like, what is wrong with you? Seriously, what is wrong with you? You just saw a man have his neck slit open as he's duct taped to the chair, and you're laughing? Yeah? That's funny?
That is, yep, you and my husband would get along so well. Yeah, he filmed, just a little tidbit, the scene where they're in the sheriff's office and stuff, is where they're like in the sheriff's office and it's like the courthouse scene. That's my mom's courthouse where they do all those scenes.
Oh, damn.
And they filmed a lot around the city and stuff. So I was there, doing some stuff around, and he walks out and I'm like, huh, that's Rob Zombie. And he's like, hey, how you doing? And walks by. That's like the extent of my meeting with Rob Zombie. But like, he was like, hey, how you doing? And then he kept going. I was like, hi. What's up?
I like all his films. I really do. I like the blood and gore that he has because I just laugh throughout the entire thing. I have a really twisted sense of humor.
So on that note, who inspires you to be the person and woman you are today?
This is like the easiest question. My maternal grandmother, my grandmother on my mom's side, she passed away when I was like 12, but she's definitely one of the strongest women I have ever met in my entire life. She had 8 children.
Wow.
Her parents passed away when she was really young, so it was just her and her siblings raising themselves in Hawaii, and she like had a lot of struggles on her own, and she gave birth to 8 children that had amazing careers, and she had her failed marriages and stuff like that, but no matter what, I think she always had a smile. She always had an answer for something, and she was like, pretty much if my family was the mafia, she'd be like the godfather or godmother. Because everything that she said went, and she raised very strong, independent women, and I admire that. There's no woman greater in my life that's ever existed than my grandmother.
Oh, that's awesome. Making me tear up over here, because both of my grandmothers are very strong women. As well, so I'm with you on that. Grandmas are the best. I love you, Grandma.
Yeah.
Here. So, thank you for your car, Grandma. We really needed a car. It's like 100 years old, but it gets me from point A to point B.
What amazed me, okay, so I wish this about, like, I had this mentality, is that my grandmother, no matter what, she was always done up, and she looked always
yes!
great. I don't know what it is. Her hair was always done. Her makeup was always done. Like, she could be out in the yard pulling weeds, and she made it look glamorous.
So it's both my grandmas, too. That is so awesome.
And, like, it just blows my mind. And here I am. I'm, like, in bed. I'm like, I don't want to get dressed.
And I'm sitting here with unbrushed hair and no makeup doing a podcast that's live right now where you can see my face. Love you, Grandma.
But, on top of that, my grandmother was also a professional ballroom dancer.
Nice.
A singer, a cocktail waitress. She did a lot of stuff, and she was hot.
Your grandma sounds like a badass.
She was.
That's
She was a fierce lady.
awesome. So, you went to TwitchCon. How was it? Tell me everything.
It was amazing. So I didn't even know what to expect when I went. Like, seriously, I didn't know. Like, I heard stories, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I kind of winged it, and I had so much fun. I got to meet some of the women from Girlstreamers. I got to hang out and meet Amanda. She was so freaking cool. She's tiny, though. She's short. I wasn't expecting her to be so short. I was like,
well, you're kind of a giant at 5'7". I'm just going to put that there. You're kind of almost a giant. Just saying.
well, I feel like I'm short.
I'm 5'4.5", so you would tower over me.
Well, it also didn't help because I was wearing these, like, 4-inch heels.
Oh, my God.
So it put me like 5'10", 5'11". And I was like, you're so cute, Amanda. I just want to put you in my pocket. And yeah, it was something that was different. And I didn't know what to expect, really. It was kind of, it was actually more for me to take in than it was for San Diego Comic-Con. And San Diego Comic-Con is like 5 times bigger.
Yeah.
And like the showroom floor had a lot of different things always going on. Like, it was a sensory overload. Like, when you walked in, like, so you have panels, but they had mini panels that were right on the showroom floor. And like, I walked in, I didn't know if I was in the right place because you just have this sea of beanbags and people laying on them. And I'm like, right at the entrance? Like, for real, guys? Like, you're right here. But there's like a panel going on. And then in another corner, they had education role, in which, you know, I got some good information that some of them was kind of common sense, and some of it was kind of like, well, I didn't know that, about like setting up your stream and making it better, and some information you need to know. And that was just like set off there in between like all the other booths that had like the mics. It had GameWest, they had Streamlabs over there, and it was just like set up right there. And then next thing you know, you keep walking maybe 10 feet and you're in like the creative section, and you see this beautiful artwork of everybody who does the creative stuff, which I met Silver, and she's like super duper into that, and she was dope to meet as well. And then next thing you know, it's like, hey, there's the H1Z1 King of the, I don't remember what it was called, the event. But it was just so much. And even though there was like all of that, I walked the floor at least once every single day. There's a game over there called Breakaway that had my attention so hard. And
you streamed that, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Oh my God. When that game comes out, I will have an answer for what is my main game. And it's going to be Breakaway.
I watched
it.
I watched some of the stream. It looked pretty cool. It looked like a pretty cool game.
And it's kind of sad because at the same time, that was the only time I actually got to meet Exia. Because our schedules collided so often. She was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, so we didn't get to meet up until like she just photobombed my stream, and there she was.
Nice.
So she was there, and that was nice to finally get to meet her and see her. But the Breakaway booth was like pretty much the highlight of my entire, well, other than meeting the ladies of the booths and the stuff that was there. The Breakaway booth was my favorite by far, because that was a lot of games to play.
So
and
would you say it was really informative? Because it sounds like you got a good bit out of some of those panels.
Yes, it was. So they did have bigger, more elaborate panels upstairs next to the beer garden.
Nice.
And had a lot of good panels up there that I feel like if anybody really wants to take their stream seriously, I feel like TwitchCon is a must to go and check out those things and meet developers and get insight from some of the bigger streamers, because I feel like they had a whole lot of information that can be shared, and it seems like a lot of them didn't have a problem with that.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that about it, that it is a community where it's like, yeah, here, let me bestow my knowledge upon you. It's more it's more friendly than a lot of industries. It's not quite as cutthroat because you know it's gonna be hard, and you know that if you don't help somebody else, it could, mess you up, I guess. I don't know. But I love that. I love that. That's cool.
Not to get completely off topic that you bring that up. I don't even know if this is one of the later questions. I'm like looking at the questions kind of. But when you bring up the whole like helping somebody else out, I feel like Twitch in itself has lost that actual, I guess, thing that I loved about it. Because when I started streaming, like everybody did not know what to do. There was not a YouTube video of like, hey, if you need help with this, do that. Oh, you need help with this, do that. It was like, okay, you go into somebody's stream, they do something that's a little bit better, and you're like, oh, how did you do that? I'm like, oh, you know what? Message me on here and I'll help you through this. It was a whole lot of helping each other out, and that's how I met and got to know a lot of other streamers from early on, from back in the day. It was just all fresh and new, and nobody exactly knew what they did. Like, we were streaming in 480p. If you stream in 480p now, they're just like...
Yeah, I know.
Nobody cares. They don't want to watch that. But at 480p at that time was like, okay, that's dope. Oh, damn, you got a webcam? That was like a huge draw, but I feel like now a lot of people are almost like just in it for themselves. Like, they don't want to help each other out. I'm always down for it. I don't mind, but like I feel now it's like everybody feels like it's just too cutthroat, and I don't see it that way. And I feel that voice in Twitch is lost.
I think it's becoming very business-like, and I think a lot of that has to do with the acquisition by Amazon, because even Twitch itself is not. There's a lot of problems with Twitch itself. Like, it shuts down constantly, and it's just it itself has become so much more about the money that it's lost its community. And then you have to build communities like Girlstreamers and other really awesome communities that are out there, to get that help. But those people in those communities still have that, here, let me help you out thing. Speaking of which, what do you like about being a part of Girlstreamers?
Well, this is another easy question. So never in my life have I met so many women that are so positive and so wanting to help each other out. I feel like through majority of my entire life, I feel like a lot of women are very cutthroat. Like, they have to be better than the next woman beside them. And that's a lot of reason why I don't have any personal female friends. I have 2 female friends in my entire life offline, and they're the 2 friends I've ever only had, because a lot of the other women I get to know, I feel like they're always trying to be better than the other person. But with Girlstreamers, it's just like all the women in there are super supportive of each other. We are proud of each other's like accomplishments and goals that we set, and I find that so incredibly inspiring and a breath of fresh air. That is absolutely like my favorite part about being part of GS.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear you say that. Would you say that even in communities like that, there will come, you're going to get, some drama involved and stuff like that? Would you say that our admins do a good job at keeping that to a minimum?
Yes. Yes, they do. I appreciate you guys for that too. But I feel like even in that group, and when we have differences, I think we handle them pretty well individually at the same time.
Yeah. I like that that Girlstreamers has, we have the HR department, which is basically And she does her best to talk to everybody and help everybody feel okay. Um, because it's hard because we have over 200 girls in this community right now, and it is hard to keep up with everybody, and it's you got to look at it like a business sometimes. Like when something does happen, like you got to go to the admins and be like, hey, something's weird, something's off. But I mean, would you say that is one of the good things about communities like this when they have those admins and those mods, that they have that open door policy, I guess, and kind of,
Yes.
I hate to say it, but run business like instead of free. You know what I
Free
mean?
for all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you promoted us a lot at TwitchCon.
Yeah.
You're even wearing your shirt
And that was
right
a lot
now.
of fun. Yeah. I love this shirt. I did. I got a lot of compliments on it too.
That's awesome.
So I love the shirt a lot.
That is really awesome. So, what keeps you so passionate about this community and the gaming community itself? Like, what keeps you passionate about Girlstreamers? What keeps you passionate about gaming itself?
Oh man. I don't even know how to answer that question. Well, because gaming has pretty much been a part of my entire life. So I don't know if it's a passion or it's just, I just accepted it as something that is a part of me. Like, if I took out gaming out of my life right now, I really don't know who I would be. That's kind of where I'm at with it. It's literally like an extra limb to me. I cannot not game. And it's more because it's ingrained into that's that common ground that I have with my family, with my friends, with people who I meet for the first time. It is bound that they played something or they enjoyed a game. So it's just like, it's just always going to be a part of me. So I don't know if it's necessarily a passion as it is so much as it's a part of me. It's a part of my personality. Now, what about the community as far as Girlstreamers? I love how much it grows. And it's continuing to grow, and the amount of support like that is just incredibly inspiring for me. So that's where it like keeps me going, is that I love, even though I'm kind of a little bit more of a lurker, I still read the daily chat. I still read the announcements and seeing women are like, oh, I hit 400 today. I hit 1,000 today. And to see that amount of excitement and them enjoying it and building their own smaller communities. Like, I love that because I love my community. I love my viewers very, very much. And I tell them that, like, I legitimately love them. Some of them has been with me the entire ride, and some of them it's only like, the last couple months, but they're super supportive. And in my Discord server, like, I tell them what goes on in my life, and I want to know what goes on in theirs, like, as far as they're comfortable with it, of course.
Right.
But it's like they become a part of my life, and I hope that I become part of theirs, and that's what I love the most. That's why. Awesome. Well, that's why I keep that's where my passion for Twitch comes from. Because if it wasn't for them, I sure as hell wouldn't be streaming. I'm like, you're an ass. I don't want to stream.
Yeah, followers. Seriously, we have some of the best followers and Girlstreamers too, and a lot of them come from the girls themselves, their communities, and come in. So we have some really great Girlstreamer followers as well. So thank you. Gonna take the moment to plug our followers. Thank you to the Girlstreamer followers. You guys are awesome. You guys are the reason why we do this. That's a really, I like that you say that, because you're right, because the followers, I mean, that's the whole reason why we do this. Like, if you're streaming and nobody's there, it's not really a point in it. You know what I mean? Like, you want to talk to people when you're playing a game because, well, you and I are the same age. We grew up with siblings. You grow up watching your sibling playing a game and talking to it. It truly is a bonding time.
It is.
So I like that you say that. I'm with you on the whole. I'm with you on that. Good answer. Good answer, Bob. Good answer. So what is your greatest challenge or obstacle that you have had to overcome in your life?
This is the one question that I actually saw that stuck out the most, and I have the most in-depth answer for. And I've
Thank
been
you,
like trying to
Katie,
think.
aka Coco Bryan, for giving one of the best questions ever.
I'm gonna say this was a disclaimer. What I have to say, I do not want pity for him because I don't pity myself for it. And it's like a lot of people see it as airing out dirty laundry, but I feel like when it comes down to it, not enough people actually share their personal stories. And it leaves a lot of people feeling like they're the only ones that ever went through it. They feel alone in all of it. So when I'm going to be saying this, I do not want pity from. I just want you to know that you're not alone, for anybody who's watching, who's listening, or anything like that. So, with that being said, my greatest challenge and obstacle in my life has to go from anywhere between the ages of 10 and 19. From when I was little, I've been working since I was 10 years old. As a kid, I was an actress, I was a model, I was a dancer, so I had a lot of gigs. And so I worked a lot because my mom didn't want to work. And that's how my family made income, was based off of these gigs I used to book. And after the 7th grade, my mom made me, drop out of school, basically. She put me into like this homeschooling thing so that California wouldn't go hunting after her. But she pulled me out so that I could work more often. And she would say that I had a tutor and I was doing the homeschooling thing. And from 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, I didn't go to school. I didn't have an education. It was like my mom gave me the student manual or the teacher's manual, like, here, go teach yourself. She also ended up taking my brother and my sister out of school because they were working and doing the same thing to bring more income back into the family. So I worked a lot. I tutored them because at that time, like when that first happened, my sister was in the 4th grade, my brother was in the 3rd grade. And I'm like, okay, you have to have some kind of education. So I ended up basically raising my family. And, I am also a product of a broken home. I'm a product of child abuse, which I'm smiling, okay? Don't worry, guys. And on top of just doing those, my mom had a casting agency. So on top of just, working for myself, raising my siblings and teaching them and tutoring them so that they can have some kind of education because we were working so often, I also was in charge of over 100 people and finding them gigs and finding them work and payroll and making sure that they could provide for their own families. So I was literally working around the clock. And I barely slept. I think that's where my work ethic comes. Like, I cannot not be doing something. It feels too weird for me to just sit stagnant and not have stuff to do. Mm-hmm. But going through that, I obviously was a very angry teenager.
Clearly.
Because I didn't have a childhood. I had a working hood. And I rebelled so stinking hard. It was ridiculous. Like, I just went from being here, finding work for all these people and doing these things and meetings of, like, I think my highest thing was, like, I had, like, a couple, like, Staples commercials under me. I got to meet Boys to Men. I did a music video for them. And there's all these things that you think that a lot of people would be so stoked about. And I hated it. I hated it so much because all I did was work for my family. And I worked for other people, but not for myself. That I just, like, went straight down, just like, all right, let's just screw up everything. And I ended up getting into a lot of trouble. I ended up going into juvenile detention. I ended up being said that I cannot live in this said state anymore, and that's how I ended up back in Hawaii. And coming back here is such a laid-back thing that it was a huge culture shock for me.
Right.
That I didn't know what to do. It was too laid back. There was nothing for me to do here. And I couldn't work. My dad wouldn't let me work. And my stepmom wouldn't let me work. And I'm like, okay, just go to school. Well, I missed 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. I know I was smart, but none of the schools wanted to take me in because my homeschool credits didn't count. So I'm like, there's no way I'm going to go back to the 9th grade. This is just not going to happen. And I found a school that was willing to work with me. They tested me, and I tested way above where I should be. They're like, okay, we will get you in as a junior where you should be. I'm like, awesome, cool. But I didn't know how to make friends. All of, like, from that thing, the only people I've ever had interaction with were adults. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to act with peers. I didn't know how to act around other people. So I had no friends, which made me even more depressed and more angry. And I got into more trouble because I didn't have anything to do with my idle hands. I would just get into trouble. And that led me into a further depression, and I drank a lot. I was in and out of rehab for addiction. And I ended up being homeless my senior year in high school
Wow.
because obviously I can understand my dad was not having it.
Right.
I said mom wasn't having it, but nobody knew that I was homeless. I picked up odd jobs to make money. I always made sure that I looked presentable. I still maintained a 3.3 GPA and above, even though I was like not there all the time, either physically or mentally. And then it got to the point where every day I didn't know if I was going to wake up the next day.
Yeah.
So I just had fun and I partied until, like, who cares if I didn't wake up the next day? Like, all right, cool. I don't really care because nobody else really cared. Or at least in my mind, nobody else really cared.
I've been there.
And
So I have been there. I know exactly the point you're talking about. I hit that point at about 24. So I know exactly the point you're talking about.
yeah, I hit that at 18 and I was burnt out. I was burnt out on everything. And I ended up getting pregnant with my son, who is very cliche to say that my child saved my life. But it got to the point where I could easily make a switch in mentality. And I'm like, okay, I may not care if I don't wake up the next day, but, you know, I have somebody else's life.
Yeah.
I literally have somebody else's life in my hands. That, okay, I don't care what happens to me. I don't care how much I screw up. But it makes a whole difference and a whole world of difference for somebody else.
Right.
And so, I amazingly cleaned up like that. And I actually put myself through college because I screwed up so much. My parents put all the college funds into my stepbrother. Understandable, because I was such a screw up at that time. So I ended up, from there, like, I learned to overcome all of those things. Yeah, I was homeless, but I ended up being able to make enough money that I got a place to stay. I put myself and paid for my college in full. And I got myself a job straight out of college that I've been with for 11 years now. And I now have a 12-year-old. And I can say this with a smile simply because, like, I have been at so many times in that 9 years, I thought, okay, it can't get lower than this. It can't get lower than this. It can't get lower than this. And it continued to do so. And the fact that here I am, I'm clean. I have an incredible 12-year-old son. I have a career of like 11 years that I am amazingly really good at. And I have a son who I love and adore and that gets to have this life that I didn't get to have.
Oh,
And
that comment right there is going to make me cry, man. That comment. I'm okay with the rest of it, but that one right there is tear. Oh my god. That's awesome.
so, like, yeah, things can always be worse, but it helped me appreciate everything else. Like, it helped me appreciate every single person in my life that much more.
Yeah.
Because of that, like, I love fiercer in my life. I appreciate the people in my life so much more. I appreciate the stuff that I have in my life. I appreciate everything that much more. Like, I would gladly go through that 9 years of hell again just to be the person that I am. Every, like, step of that story had made me me. And if I didn't have that, I feel like I'd be some self-entitled person or something.
I think that is an amazing story, and thank you for opening up and being honest about it. The first thing that you said was we need to talk more about this, and I completely agree with you. Both of us have very different journeys in what we've gone through, but I completely agree with you on that because there are so many people who are going through exactly that right now, and they think that they're alone, and they're not.
Yeah, it is. And I meet a lot of them and they just feel like, well, I don't want to feel different. I don't want to be the one that's, has this fucked up life. And I just cussed again.
It's okay. Okay, you earned that curse word.
Who has this messed up life. And like, it's not true. I want you to know that I have the support system, and this is something that I do, and it's not for everybody. But when it comes to my viewers, I hate calling them viewers. I hate calling them followers. But I don't have a name for them yet. When it comes to any of them, I straight up tell them, here's my number. You need somebody to talk to, call me. Talk to me. I am an open book. I'm down to, even if you just need somebody to yell at me. It's fine. I'm not going to take it personal, but you need to feel like you're not alone. And I do that for every single person. It doesn't freaking matter to me. Yeah, it can be a little bit dangerous to do those things because you don't know what's going to happen or if they're going to abuse that. But I've been to that point where you just didn't have anybody to talk to, and that when you do open up to that one person, they kind of like give you that look of like, oh, yeah. Or the answer that I hate the most is like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your help.
And a lot of people, and okay, so all right, I'm gonna step on my soapbox for a moment because I spent the weekend with my parents, and God love my parents, but my dad is an entitled white dude, and they're poor. They don't have money, but things he says is just like, I want to punch him in the throat. And so when you talk, like, my story has to do with rape. So he can't talk to me. He won't talk to me about it, and he has made the argument that there are a lot of false rapes before, and it's like, I just need you to listen to me. I just need you to hear me. I don't need you to try and fix something. I don't need you to give me statistics on shit you clearly don't know about. I just need you to listen to me. And so many people have that problem. They think they have to say something. They think they have to respond. And you don't. You just need to stand there and be bored and listen to someone. Just be a plank for someone to listen to. That is all you need. And people don't understand that, especially when it's something mental, like, I mean, it stuff like that screws with your head so bad that that's why therapy is so important. I will always be an advocate for therapy. If you don't have a therapist and you're going through something like this, go find a counselor. Even if you're not Christian, go to a pastor or a leader of a rabbi or something, because they're there to listen to you, and they will. Even if you don't believe their religion, they will listen to you and be a bouncing board for you to talk to. That's what those kind of leaders are there for, and I highly recommend going and talking to someone. Sorry.
Definitely.
Sorry. I have a counselor that I go to, so thank you so much for sharing that. Like, it feels good to get a really, like, it's amazing the stories that I get from that question, and I will always forever ask that question, and everybody's story, and nobody's story is any worse.
Is the same.
And everybody's story is different. Like, everybody has gone through something rough, and everybody has had a challenge or an obstacle, and I'm so thank you because I can do this shit. I am so thankful that you guys are willing to open up to me about this. So thank you so much for sharing. So we will lighten up the mood now. A little bit more.
I can say it with a smile.
That is, and I think that's really awesome that you can, because a lot of people, because you're in your early 30s, I'm still working through my crap. I can't say my shit with a smile yet, but I'm getting there. That is really rare to be in your 30s and be able to say, yeah, I went through this fucked up shit, but I'm okay now. That is so rare. Do you know how rare that is?
I know how incredibly rare that is, and I think that's why I don't mind sharing it, because a lot of people, they don't think there's like an end to it, that, okay, there's no way I can come out on top. Look, there's a freaking way, okay?
Yep.
And I can stand here and I can be proof for you to see, like, okay, I went for this, and this, and look, I'm okay.
Yep.
Maybe not perfect, but I'm good. And I am willing to be there, hold your hand, stand by your side, and help you through it. And I mean that for every single person that I talk to. There's
That's one
no
thing
limit.
I have found about people who have gone through really, really bad stuff like that. They don't want, especially recently, like, no, you don't want to sit there and watch somebody go through the same shit you went through. You want them, even if you don't know who it is, you're like, man, I know exactly what you're going through. I don't want you to go through this. Talk to me. Because you know how bad it feels. You know how bad it is. Oh.
The other side, the only downside about this that I ever see, and it's a huge pet peeve of mine, and I know that not everybody's going to be me, I know this, but is when somebody goes through like a little bump in the road and they feel like they just have no options, none. Like I'll see like some people who have kids when they're young, they end up getting pregnant, and they're like, I can't go to college. I'm like, why can't you go to college? Why? Oh, I can't afford it.
Another kid coming. Yeah, you can still go to college.
You still can. I did. I was homeless and I put myself through college. Come on.
I'm with you on that excuse. There are so many options for college nowadays. You can get an education and they will work with you. You can take classes where you take one class a month.
I took my son to school with me. The day that I gave birth to my son. Okay, so the week that I gave birth to my son was finals week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was studying for finals when my water broke, and I'm like, right now, I have a final to take tomorrow. Can you just wait?
Please tell me you named your child after a professor or something, because that just feels like that would be so appropriate.
Although my professors were really awesome, but it's funny because the day that I got out of the hospital, I took my son, I went straight over to the college, and I took all of my finals. Like they knew that I gave birth. They're like, oh yeah, take a couple weeks, don't worry. And I'm like, no, I want to get this done now because I started so damn hard. Just give me the test. And here I am taking my test, going to each of my professors, which they were nice enough to meet me in one place. And I just popped them out like this as I held my son who was passed out literally the day I got out of the hospital.
Oh my gosh, girl,
done.
You are crazy.
I'm like, right. And then I'm like, done. I don't have to worry about this for another 4 weeks before I go back.
Wow.
My son actually ended up coming to my classes with me, and I was very gracious to be a part of the electronics program, because we had there wasn't a whole lot of people in the electronics program, because it's not, nursing is a huge thing on my island, not so much electronics program, but so it was a small group, and they were nice enough that when it came to taking tests, like my classmate was like, hey, go take your test, I'll hold your child, and they'll be like in the lobby or something.
Great.
And I had like this little area that my son could play in and he could sleep in. So I was really, really grateful, and I made it work. And it's nice enough. Like some people, when they go to college, like, oh, who's going to, care for this? Yeah, understandable, bigger university. But if you go to a community college, and I feel like you could talk to your professors, and I'm like, and if it looks like you're generally trying to make your life a better life, that you can easily work out something with them. Like, look, I want to provide a better life for my child. Please help me out in this. A lot of them are willing to, and my professors were freaking awesome. They're like, yeah, just take your son, good. And that's what I did.
That's so great. That's awesome. We had, quick note, and then I'll ask you a question. I went to a bigger university. I hopped from college to college. There's a reason to that. That's a whole different podcast. But my final college, where I actually finally got my film degree, there was a pregnant girl in one of our classes, in one of my classes. Actually, she was in a couple of my classes, and she was like about to pop on finals week, and the professors, even though it's a big university, the professors were really, really good to her, and they actually gave her the final before. They said, here, you can have the finals before you go, like a couple weeks early, because she was due like finals week, and they're like, here, you can have the final beforehand. And she's like, oh, thank you. She's like, I'd rather do that instead of come back, because it was like her last semester and stuff, and so she didn't want to have to come back. She wanted to just get it done and over with. So I think that's so awesome that you had such a positive experience. That is so great. On that awesomeness note, what trait of yours are you most proud of? And what do you think is your greatest insecurity?
Oh my goodness. God, my strongest trait is that that I can be absolutely serious about something and still be really, really laid back and laugh about stuff. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. um, Damn it. Okay, it's a lot easier for me to go with the other one. My greatest insecurity, which is funny because I can laugh about, is that I don't have straight teeth. I don't. That's the biggest insecurity that I have. It's a very physical thing. But I can laugh about it. And that's just because, like, my family didn't have a whole lot of money. I was working, obviously. and
I think you should
that's
be most proud of the fact that you are really badass. You worked through a lot of crap, and you have a really awesome 12-year-old. That's 3 things right there. How can you not name something that you're proud of about yourself? Come on, girl. I need you to be
because I feel like
self-positive.
I could do so much more.
Yeah, I need you to be self-positive. Come on, girl. I need you to be self-positive. We can all name 100 things about our greatest insecurities. Don't worry. I feel you on the teeth thing because I sucked my thumb when I was little, so I have not only not straight teeth, but I have an overbite, and it's just, yeah. But you have a gorgeous smile, so that's
a trait. There you go. Well, okay, my trait is that no matter what, I know that even though I can get down about something, I know that there's a positive side, and I know that I can overcome it. That's the whole thing, is that I know that whatever I'm going through, I can overcome it and it'll be okay. I think that is one of my strongest traits.
That is a great trait. That is a great trait to have, that you are able to see the positive side of things and keep going.
Because nothing from 19 till now is nearly as bad from 10 to 19.
That's crazy. So, gonna go back to streaming a little bit. Have you ever been trolled?
Pretty sure, yes. The only reason why I say it's pretty sure is because I kind of just roll with it. If somebody, like, it's very obvious when somebody wants to go and troll. I just kind of just roll with it. And, like, if whatever they have to say, if I can just make it into a joke and it sees it doesn't bother me, it's either A, they stop and they leave, or B, they just be a normal person and they just have a normal conversation, and then there they are. They give a follow. So I'm sure I have been. I just don't really pay much attention to it. Or I just straight up tell them, like, if you're trolling, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm just going to ignore you. So just go along with it.
I think
if I have to ban them, I have like a special notification, which I've only had to use once for banning people. And it's like, my answer is like, hey, you do you, F you.
Nice. I think new streamers tend. I've noticed the newer you are at streaming, the more you get trolled. But after you've been streaming a while, they don't come in as often. At least for me, because all my trolls were at the beginning of my stream, and now I get like 1 or 2, and I'm like, whatever. I just ignore them. But yeah, I mean, you've been around a while, so you really know how to deal with them.
Yeah. I don't really pay attention or notice.
What advice then would you have for new streamers?
Don't be anybody else but yourself. I feel like everybody feels like they have to have some kind of niche or some kind of gimmick to be popular. But there's nothing that bothers me more than having a streamer who acts one way on camera, and then when you finally meet them, they're so not the same person. Like, instantly, all right, I don't know who you are. Technically, I really don't know who you are because you're a whole different person. This isn't fun. This isn't why I started following you or watching you.
Yeah, because they have like one personality on camera and they have to be like quote unquote on, but then behind the scenes they're completely different, and it's like, whoa! I have a friend who does this and it drives me crazy. And I'm like,
yeah, I can't.
Dude, stop, just because I know the real person, and it's not. I mean, it's similar to his on-screen personality, but it's like, your regular personality is awesome too, dude. Like, it's okay, because it's like, I don't want. It has to do with like reputation or something like that, and it's like,
it's too much work to pretend to be somebody else that you're not. Like, God.
I agree. I'm with you on that, girl.
So, as if you see me on stream and I'm dorky, goofy, I slur my words, I get things wrong, I'm very accident prone. You're gonna get that when you see me offline. I'm always gonna be the same person. But I can't. That's a huge pet peeve. So when it comes to advice, just be yourself. That's gonna show the most. Like if you're not yourself, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. And that comes across really strong. And I feel like that also promotes trolls because they know like, okay. You want
Yeah.
to pretend to be somebody else. I'll pretend to be like this asshat.
Yeah. I think that's great advice. I know you have tattoos, so give me some cool stories about your tattoos, and if you have any scars or piercings.
Okay, scars is easy. So I have a scar here from when I dropped a shopping cart on my head. That's a whole different other story, but yeah, I have a scar here from when I split my face open from dropping a shopping cart on my head. That's the only scar
shopping cart
I have.
on your head, and you just have a
Yes.
scar right next to your eyebrow.
Yeah.
Just a little scar. You can't even see it on camera.
No, you can't, which is nice. 'Cause I got it when I was like 6 or 7. I used to like swing under shopping carts, and my mom loaded the shopping cart heavy on one side, and when I went to swing underneath it, it just came toppling onto me. It fell on my face. I knocked out. I woke up with blood on my head. I knocked out again. I woke up in the hospital. I was like, oh, this is itchy. And I scratched it, ripped my scars out.
Oh, no.
My stitches out, and then just blood kept streaming, and I blacked out again. I woke up again with stitches again, and I was tied down to the hospital bed, and I was like, don't touch it. I'm like, touch what? What happened? Where am I?
Oh, that's awful.
So so that's how that happened. So that's easy on the scar things. As far as tattoos, I have quite a few. My very first one is I have a Playboy tattoo here because I thought I would never get a tattoo ever. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to get one. I'm going to get a Playboy tattoo right here so that when I'm an old grandma with saggy boobs, I'd be the cool grandma who got like this porn thing on her boob.
Oh my god.
This is 18-year-old me who thought it was like, this is a great idea.
That is
was not a great idea. It was not a great idea because now it's here and I get really creepy men who are like, in Hawaii, they're Filipino men. It's like, oh, same. And they have like some Playboy tattoo somewhere over on their arm or something. You like touch? No. Can I touch? No.
Oh, no. Are you see? Oh.
So it's like, that's really bad. But, really is. I have a Celtic one, Celtic two-headed dragon, which, again, I didn't even, FYI, kids, don't do mushrooms and go into a tattoo shop. Again, I got this when I was 18. Drugs are bad, okay?
Drugs are bad, okay? We do not promote illegal drugs or illegal drinking on the Girlstreamers channel.
We do not. Don't ever do these things. These are things not to do, kids. Not to do. But I did. Like a dumbass. Learn from my mistakes. And I thought in my head when I went, I'm like, this looks really cool. I'm going to get this. It wasn't. It's on my leg still. And the only reason why I haven't covered it up, so the tattoo shop I work at, a lot of the guys there apprenticed, and, well, they all have to apprentice, but they remembered the sheet that dragon's on that they had to practice off of. And they're like, no, that thing's nostalgic, just keep it. And that's the only reason why I kept it. Everything else after that were all custom tattoos. The one on my arm here, my son and my friend who owns the tattoo shop that I work at actually designed this together, which is my son's Sagittarius symbol. And then everything else is my son told him what he wanted to see, and I just got it on my arm. And that was one of...
gorgeous tattoo, by the way. That is absolutely beautiful.
So it's all negative stars with Sagittarius, and then my son's name on the inside.
Oh, I love it. That is so beautiful.
So that's... If I ever have any more kids, I'll just go down here and continue on. But, kind of have to have those.
How many tats do you have total?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna...
This is going to be weird because I want to show this to you, Nymphadora. This is the one. I have a few, but the one that I am proud of, that's like the latest. I don't even know if I can show this to you. This is weird to stand up. But I have this one right here, which is...
I remember when you got that one. Yes, it is.
The latest one I got for the Harry Potter one that I got like in August.
I
So
really like the way they did the Deathly Hollow symbols with the Dementor in there. That's really really well done. They did a great job. And then
yeah,
Harry in the middle as the elder one. Like that's who designed that? Did you design that?
no, actually, I have a friend named Arturo who's based out of Washington who comes here sometimes to visit, and he did it. He's a huge Harry Potter fan too, so I know he'd be down to draw something else. So
That is really well done. It's beautiful. I
but
love it.
I knew that one I had to share with you.
Yes. I remember when you got it done because I was like, yeah, it's Harry Potter because I love Harry Potter because that's where Nymphadora comes from.
Mm-hmm. So I knew you would like it the most. But I have quite a few, and those are my favorites.
I hate to do this, but we're not going to be able to open it up for Q&A because I have 2 more questions and we are starting to run over. So no Q&A today, guys. I am so sorry.
Sorry for talking so much.
It's been a great interview, though. You've been awesome. So, all right, second to last question. If there was one person, present or past, you could have dinner with tonight, who would it be and why?
Oh, my grandmother. My grandmother on my mom's side, because she's the absolutely most wonderful person in the world to me.
Nice. So what is your strongest passion outside of streaming?
Finding time to sleep.
Yes.
If I can find out when I can possibly sleep, that's the strongest passion because I barely ever sleep. And I think a lot of people notice that they'll see me online 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll sleep, and next thing you know, I'm responding to things like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I really get like anywhere between 3 to 4 hours of sleep a day.
Oh God, girl, seriously, go find some sleep. Come on now. So again, I am so sorry that we are not able to do Q&A, but we are over an hour and a half, guys. So I gotta wrap it up.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's my fault, man. I liked hearing you talk. I wanted to hear what you had to say. So where and when can we find you streaming?
Oh, okay. So for Girlstreamers, you'll find me on my Monday nights or Tuesday mornings on Girlstreamers at, I think it's 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, 11 p.m. Pacific, and 2 a.m. for Eastern Standard Time for Girlstreamers. Other than that, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, it's like same exact schedule on my personal channel, which is twitch.tv/MissDJM. You can find me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Periscope, all MissDJM. If it's there and it says MissDJM, it is probably me. And if you don't find my name there and it's actually somebody else because somebody's been camping on my name, just add the number 16 to it. Just add the number 16 to it, and that's me as well. I'm
Awesome.
kind of like everywhere.
Well, I'm gonna close this out, and we'll stay live a little bit longer, just you can talk to the chat in there, but I do have to close the podcast out. So this has been a Girlstreamer podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, MissDJM, for being another really awesome interview. It's been great. We've had some great interviews. I'm so glad to have you guys. Girlstreamers is partnered with Loot Crate, Fresh Designs, Punk's Paracord, Simple Jerky, and Glom Tom and UN Racing Chairs. So that is really cool stuff, guys. If you want to check those guys out, links to these amazing sponsors are down below in the Twitch channel. Thank you so much for all your support. Please follow us at Girlstreamers on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you have any questions or would like more information, you can visit our website at girlstreamers.com and contact us through there. You can also donate to Girlstreamers via GameWisp, or you can subscribe to us via GameWisp and join us in our Discord channel. You can buy some super cool gear in our online shop at designedbyhumans.com/shop/Girlstreamers, or you can just search Girlstreamers in the search bar. Some really, really cool gear. If you're watching the video, MissDJM is sporting one of the t-shirts. You can find MissDJM on Twitter at MissDJM. That is MissDJM. And Twitch at twitch.tv/MissDJM. MissDJM. Our next podcast will be not in 2 weeks. I apologize, but in 2 weeks I will actually be at BlizzCon, so I won't be able to do a podcast. So our next one will be November 13th, which is the week after BlizzCon, right here, same time with JL Pucci. So I am really excited about another awesome podcast. Thank you guys so much